everyone, welcome to part 6 and the final part of my in-depth review of the new Ork Codex. Now in this part I'm going to talk about the Lords of War. I'm going to talk about the Ork warband, and I'm going to talk about just the overall feel of the Codex. Now that I've given it a good thought for the day and I've read it over a bunch of times, I'm not as negative as I once was. There are annoyances, obviously, and we'll talk about those. But it's okay. We'll talk about it first. But first we got to start off with Lords of War. Now, Lords of War have 2 entries in this codex. The Stompa, which I knew was going to be a Lord of War because it's a Stompa, a giant, super heavy walker transport, and Thraka. And I know you've left comments in the comment section stating that the reason why he's in the Lords of War is that now you can take him as a Lord of War and you can have 3 HQs, which is good. That's great. You know what? I'm not arguing. It's an interesting situation. I do think it's a little weird. Even if it has its benefits, if you take a Lord of War, your opponent can get a benefit, a better warlord trait. But it's just odd that Thraka would end up being in a Lord of War beside, a super heavy walker. That's all I thought. Besides that, they didn't change him. He's still 225, same stat line as before. In fact, he even got worse. He used to have a 5+ invul, and now he has a 6+ Feel No Pain due to cyborg body. He has Meg armor, and the turn he calls his Wah, he gets a 2+ invul. That's pretty cool. But, yeah, he's pretty much the same old dude. He is Eternal Warrior, Furious Charge, and once again, they gave him the rules, which I like. They gave him the rules, he's got Eternal Warrior, but they took away why he is Eternal Warrior. It's because the crazy thing in his head. It should have kept it in because it gave him character, and it gave the Codex interestingness. They've streamlined this Codex, I find. Which in ways is good, and in ways is bad. And for 770 points, you can get a Stompa. And it's the same Stompa. It's the same rules as before, same everything. But it gives everyone Fearless within 6 inches of it. Cool. Used to be a Codex-wide rule, but now that gives it. And you can take up to 2 additional Super Rockets for 20 points each, or Grot Riggers for 30 points. And yes, I would take Grot Riggers with it, because Grot Riggers, it will not die on a Stompa equals a happy Stompa. So I'm going to try to get a Stompa in the near future, because apparently I just need to get a Stompa. Stompas are cool. I have Thraka. And it's also kind of interesting, because I'm pretty sure Thraka is getting his own Codex supplement in like a week. So I should pick that up and see how that goes. Maybe it's going to be interesting. Interesting stuff. And now the Ork Warband. Ork Warband, it's a formation. And it includes 1 war boss, 1 mech. Not a big mech, I'm pretty sure just a mech. Unit of Knobs, or Mega Knobs, 6 units of Boys, and 1 unit of Gretchen. And the command benefits: first, Boss of Dawa. In this attachment is chosen as your primary detachment. You can reroll the result when rolling on your warlord table. That's cool. Greenskin Hordes. Every unit with 10 or more models in this attachment gains a Hammer Wrath special rule. That's cool, in which they successfully charge an enemy. And, sorry. Any assault in which it successful charges an enemy unit and the dice rolled for its charge range is 10 or more. Before modifiers. That's really not a benefit. The average, that's not 10 or more. That's 1 in 6 chance. Alright. Doesn't need to move full distance. And Stampede, if this formation's war boss is your warlord, he can use his Wah special rule every turn after the first. Well, that's cool. Giving them fleet, that'd be good for assaulting. And that's it. And then the appendix, which we've covered. The gubbins and guns. Runs and squigs. Let's see if there's anything else. I think we've covered it all. This is interesting. And Mech's tools. I forgot to mention Mech's tools. You need a 5 or more. It used to be 4 or more, I think, but now you roll 5 more to restore hull point lost or been destroyed. And that's it. So yeah, the big thing I missed was the Greenskin Hordes. Gains Hammer Wrath. And let's charge 10 or more. Oh. Interesting. And the boss. Command benefits. Wow. Interesting stuff. So, that's it. Alright. So that's the review of the Codex. So what do I think? Obviously, when you read a Codex for the first time, your eyes immediately go to the things you love. And in this particular case, I am a Canwall-loving Ork player. And the biggest downside to this Codex I found was its lack of force organization manipulation. You can't just bring this to take these guys as troops or bring these guys to take these guys as troops. You're forced to take boys as troops. Now in 7th edition, luckily, everything can score. And that's great. Because now Ork Knob Bikers, even if you take them as elites, they still score. Right? And you can pretty much bring the same list you always brought. If you were a Knobs Biker person, you can still bring Knob Bikers. You just need to bring 2 min squads of boys. Right? It's a tiny tax. 120 points of boys. The rest, whatever you want. As far as the competitive circuit goes, I do see war bosses on bikes still being used. I see boys. I see the Green Tide as still being a very viable option. Unfortunately, the problems with this Codex is I feel that they're really pushing you for Slugga Chapel boys in hordes. And the whole Codex is oriented around close combat. It really is. Most of the Warlord traits are close combat oriented. The WA is close combat oriented. It gives you the old fleet. Slugga Chapel boys are cheaper. And they come with stick bombs for free. That's awesome. You can take 9 squads of them. And that's the thing. I'm not saying, and the problem is 7th edition is about shooting. But, that being said, I still think, you know what? I think this Codex has its chances. I really do. And let's talk about that now. So as I said, for HQs, the ability to take 3 HQs is huge. I'm sorry I missed that when I was talking about the HQ section. I really do feel the war bosses and the Big Mechs are going to be used primarily because they are both really offensive and defensive depending on how you want to run them. The Weird Boys are fun. For a fun list, I think you're going to have a good time. The problem is they're now only Leadership 7, so I don't know, but good anti-psyker. Mechs are cool. You can throw them in with your Ludas if you want to take them. Big Mechs, custom force fields, maybe armor. You know, maybe want to give them some heavy armor, or you take mega armor. That's good. Pain Boys, I think Pain Boys are going to be brought. I think the competitive circuit will have probably, if your HQs, 2 of one of the other, and one's going to be War Boss, one's going to be a Big Mac. Oh, not Big Mac, a Pain Boy. 2 Pain Boys and a War Boss on a bike will still be really powerful. You know what? I still think they're going to be very powerful. 4+ in Feel No Pain is great. The new Cyborg Bodies sucks. I don't think people are going to take it. A 6+ Feel No Pain, not worth it. Really not worth it. I don't think so. Mad Dog Grotznick's cool. I still think a Pain Boy is better. Put a Pain Boy on a bike. Captain Badrock and Zagstruck are fun, and you could take them if you want. They're going to be fun. Flash Kits are good. As I said, Flash Kits definitely have their purpose, and Storm Boys have their purpose. I don't think Storm Boys are good with Zagstruck. I think they're better without Zagstruck. He's cheap. I don't think you should pay the 65 points for him. You could add him if you want. He does have the cool Hammer Wrath attacks, and in the end, but I just don't think he's strong enough. You know, he's heavy armor with cyborg body. I don't know. I think for the space in the Force Organization chart, I think Storm Boys are going to be good in the fast attack slots without Zagstruck. Captain Badrock's pretty fun too, so I think he could be fun with the for Theme Force. For the troops, you know what? Boys are just as good as they ever were. You know? I can't complain. Boys are good. And I love running hordes of boys sometimes too. And they're going to be fun. Now, you kind of are bringing knives to a gunfight. Which you'll find that. 7 points isn't terrible for a shoot-up. Now, they went from 6 points to 7 points. They give you the stick bombs, so essentially it's the same cost with stick bombs. But the rockets are cheaper. So I like to put 3 rockets in a squad, and that instantly pays for 15 boys for that extra cost. So in the end, I'm paying like half a point more per boy. Really, in the end, that's pretty negligible. Now, obviously, the rules for mob rule and here we go have changed. Mob rule will hurt large boy squads, and small boy squads won't be affected too badly, you know, depending on what you roll. But larger boys, yeah, you'll lose some. You know, if Tau shoot you, you'll lose some boys, and then you might lose more boys. And it sucks that your leadership is now 7, because it used to be 10 or above, you know, you're fearless, but now it's 7, so it's a 50-50, or just better than a 50-50 that you pass, you know. But hey, 7/12 chance you pass, not bad, you know, unless you roll like me and you have bad luck. But I don't think this codex is as bad as I originally thought. And I apologize if I sounded negative at the beginning of it. Gretchen, they're fun. Gretchen are fun. I know people run them. Burna Boys. I think Burna Boys are going to be fun to run with inside a Morkanaut. You know, 5 Burna Boys, or 4 Burna Boys and 2 mechs inside a Morkanaut. And you just jump them out and go, flame! Or a truck, flame! That'll be cool. Burna Boys are good. Tank Busters, fun. Again, you could put them in your list if you want. They're good if they pop a vehicle. If you know you're facing a really mechanized list, go for it. Knobs. Knobs will still be good, remember. Now, Knob Bikers, the only thing is with Knob Bikers, I think that they've kind of met their match in the sense that they were, by the time this codex came in, they were already being matched pretty well by other armies. But here's the problem. A, they lost their good cover save, so now they have to jink for 5 up instead of 4 up before automatically. B, they don't get that, you have to buy the Pain Boy to put them in. They don't get their cyborg bodies anymore. Well, they do, but their cyborg bodies really aren't worth it anymore. You might as well run them without cyborg bodies. So now you're running 4+ armor saves with a possible jink, which, to be fair, even if they're forced to jink and they have to overwatch or snapfire, they're still twin-linked guns, and it isn't that big of a nerf going from ballistic skill 2 to 1. So you can still run them. You can still run Knob Bikers with a War Boss on a bike and Pain Boy. You can still run them, and they'll still be pretty hard hitting. They won't be as good as they once were. But obviously with codexes that changes, and that was obviously one thing I thought they would address because they became so powerful. Mega Knobs are fun. You could run them. You know, they have their spot. They're hard hitting, but man, they're fragile. You know, 1 AP2 gun, 1 Power Fist, no invul. You know, toughness 4, no invul. I do think it's kind of cool, the new kill saws. They're kind of fun. Commandos, they're fun too. You know, they're a fun gimmicky thing that they might make your opponent think. They pop in, flame a guy, destroy a guy. Maybe they'll get you a good kill point. Maybe. And Boss Necrot. And then there's the fast attacks, which, as I said, the fast attacks are good. Actually, they got pretty point efficient wise. I think Storm Boys will be really fun in a horde of Storm Boys. You know, 30 Storm Boys, jump infantry. That would be fun. You gotta bury the claw. I think every squad should have a claw knob buried in there. You gotta have it. It's the most important thing. As many knobs as you can fit them with claws. They're gonna keep your army alive against a lot of stuff. And that'd be fun. They just fly around the field. They're pretty fast. They're not as fast as they once were, though. Devcoptas would be a good scouting kamikaze unit. Daka Jets I still see as the go-to fast attack unit. Take 3 of them. They're flyers. They're hard to kill. In the competitive circuit. In a friendly circuit, you can play with whatever you want. Burn bombers, same. Blitz bombers, same. They're more for fun. And then there's War Bikers I don't know about. They might have their role. They might. Because they can score now. Fast units, they can score. Mech guns are really cool. They're really cool. You know, I think 15 mech guns on the table would be hilarious and fun, and probably still competitive. You know, they could punch some holes in some people, you know, and you line up the right mech guns. I don't like the bubble burst up. Not a big fan of that one. But a couple of the other ones, like the cannons, the mega cannon, good stuff. Good stuff there. Battle wagons, just as good and viable as before. Def Dreads are good. I know I'm not. People might have been taking me incorrectly when I was saying the heavies. They are still good. I just think if you had to take a limited number of heavy support troops, I think they're going to fall beneath the cracks. Killicans I love. 6 cans in a squad. You can run 18 in a list. Hello! That's going to be fun. I'm going to put 9 in a list probably. Maybe, yeah, I'm thinking 9. Well, maybe 12. I'll put 12 in a Morkanaut. Then there's the Gorkanaut and Morkanaut. I like the Morkanaut. Ludas and Flashkits. I'm really sad that Ludas got moved to heavy because now I don't think that they can compete with the heavy since they have no AP and they have heavy in 7. Versus the Flashkits, which I think are actually very strong as well. I don't know, debating with the Ludas. And Flashkits, a good AP. So they'll take down a lot of Space Marines pretty quickly. And Strength 5, so they'll really mow down infantry. Terminators and Space Marines will get mowed down pretty quickly by Flashkits. So that's stuff. Awesome stuff. And Gosgulthrak in the Stomp 'em. So, as I said, if you really like running fast lists, I think this codex will still be viable for you. I really do. The fast stuff got cheaper. Obviously not as good, but cheaper. You know, and if you love Green Tide, this is your codex. You can run 9 squads of boys. 9. You know, I like the 3 HQ things. That's good, and it really did fix the problem because there's a lot of HQs. I think the heavy support is where a lot of people are going to have problems putting stuff in because there are a lot of amazing options in this codex. Most of them are in heavy support. In the end, it's a good codex. I don't think it's as good as Eldar or Tau or even Space Marines because unfortunately it is a little bit incompatible with 7th edition. 7th edition is about shooting, and this codex is more about assault. But will I have fun with this codex? Absolutely. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have a good time with it. Will it be as competitive? We'll see. You know what? On paper, it looks like it'll be a middle tier codex right now. Not as amazing as probably, yeah, most of the last 4 or 5. Better than Tyranids, I think. I still think it's, well, better written than Tyranids. And I think it's going to be fun. And will it be as competitive? We'll have to see. You know, so leave your comments in the comment section down below what you think will be thriving. I still think and the Canwall. I still think Canwall is going to be fun. You know, I'm going to run 12 cans, and I'm going to run a Morkanaut and 3 Big Macs with custom force fields. Let's have some fun. And that's going to be my new battle report list. You're going to see it eventually. Call that. That's going to be a lot of fun. So I really hope you enjoyed this review of the Ork Codex. I hope I covered things in good detail and what could be viable and what might not be, and not just focus on the negatives. Obviously there were negatives, obviously, but not all of it was negative. Some were good, and I really think that we're going to have a good time with this codex. And let's have some fun. And obviously I'm more of a fun player, but I think there's going to be some builds in there. So thank you very much for watching. Leave a comment in the comment section down below what you think about this codex. Was I wrong? Was I right? It's just my opinion. I'm just one man who loves orcs. And please like the video, comment in the comment section down below, subscribe to my channel. Until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting.